Once there was this kid who got into an accident and something too. Does anybody remember that song? Crash test dummies. That's what we've got running Congress right now. Take Fetterman, for instance. Ugh. He's getting a little disgruntled about the whole, dress code thing. He's pissed off, so he sent some kind of stupid meme out. So, can't be dressing like that, man. I mean, I know I run around in a suit and tie all the time, and so I know what it's like to have to, be ostracized into doing that. But I honestly can see why they would want a dress code, because it really, like I say, in a world where we strive for perfection, and with the people that you're representing a lot when you put on that suit, there's a whole lot behind it. You don't have to be, when you put on a suit, doesn't mean you have to be a bona fide dick. You can actually be a really cool person wearing a suit, but it does have that transformation effect to some people. So I see Fetterman's argument behind it, but not really. I think that proper statute and raising your kids makes a difference. Anyways, I got a lot of articles to show you real quick. We're going to talk about Alex Soros. We're going to talk about I saw an article, and I don't have time to cover it today, but the dude that played Chucky, that in the movies back in the late 80s, early 90s for the Chucky movies and all, he was just caught up in a pedophile ring sting thing where he was trying to communicate with underage boys for used cars. Wink, wink. A Katy Perry wink, wink. Yep, this is normal. I just do that. Not Katy Perry. But anyhow, got some stuff that has to do with dude, man, was playing on stage. All of a sudden just checks out, has a heart attack. I mean, he survived, but he puts his hand in the air, and they thought that it was part of the show. He was, help me! I'll show you about that too. And a few other things, and I'll make it quick, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate all the wonderful new subscribers and all the wonderful people out there who's been here since day one, and I know who you are. I do. I haven't seen some of my newbies, the guys that came from the get-go, or the originalies, like Tabasco Buzz and Kim and a bunch of people. I remember all you guys. If you happen to see me, mention your name, put it in the comment sections. I think about all you guys. And so, anyhow, let me show you what's going on out here in the wide world of clownness, man. I'm telling you, dude, these people, they don't go to sleep at night. They they keep right on rolling with all their stuff. So let me show you what's going on at San Francisco. This had me. I was like, no way. San Francisco Mayor London Breed to require drug testing for homeless who want government services in San Francisco. That was a big bait and switch for those guys who moved. People trekked all the way across the country, rode on trains, crossed through barbed wire, let National Guards be paid off. Wait a minute, that was the border. I get confused. I meant they truck all the way across the same scenario, but minus the barbed wire. Went to San Francisco because these people were initially being paid to move there. They were given subsidies. If you move there, if you come in there and you've got a drug problem, they'll give you money, they give you a phone, they give you access to public housing really quickly. If they can't, they give you a tent, they give you directions to the nearest crack house. I mean, this is no joke. Well, somehow or another, I don't know what happened, but there's a video here. Let's see what she's saying.
It should not be more convenient to get access to drugs than it is to get access to treatment. And what we are trying to do with
you don't say. I can get down with that.
Number of our changes and initiatives that I realize are a tad bit controversial. We're trying to get people into treatment. We see so many more people dying, not just going through a situation and getting better, dying on our streets of San Francisco. We're here because we need to make a significant change. And one of those changes is to require treatment for those suffering with substance use disorder when they are seeking to get support from the city and county of San Francisco.
She's reading, by the way, from if you can watch her eyes, you can see she's reading from a prompter. This is nothing that she feels. She doesn't care. She's being made to do this by somebody. I don't know. But if it was her, they'd still have poop on the streets. Here we go.
general assistance, GA, it has a lot of different names. But no more anything goes without accountability. No more handouts without accountability. So in order to get resources from our city, you will need to be in a substance use disorder program and consistently seeking treatment. We have a number of people who are working every day out on our streets to provide to...
Basically, she's just going to talk about what they're doing right now at the moment. Okay, now, I don't want to knock this. This sounds like a really good thing, guys, but let's look into the weeds. What could they make out of this crisis? This obviously is a crisis. They've decided that now people dying on the streets because of drug problems is a crisis. What do most of this the Marxist ideology? What do they do with crises? People out there in the comment sections, I'll give you 5 seconds. Boo, doo, 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 doo. Tip me over and pour me out. And anyways. Ken Jennings was. I like the Ken Jennings. I'm not with the chick from Blossom. That's right. Anyways, that chick from Blossom that's hosting Jeopardy with the glasses, who is the atrocious chick from the Big Bang Theory, which were all leftist people. Breastfed her child till she was almost 13 years old. Yeah. Anyways, off subject is that like I said a minute ago, I'll give you a little extra time to think. Most of your Marxist ideology, or all of your Marxist ideology, involves taking a crisis and not letting it go to waste. What is the main goal for globalists right now when it comes to how we're going to engineer society? What do we? That's the next question, and I won't get. We'll go right into it. They want to engineer society, and they want to use things like no ownership, 15-minute cities, global digital IDs, all this fun stuff. And most of the time, when it comes to any kind of level of experimentation that we see done, most of the time it's done to some of the lower echelons of the people that would be used. In other words, like take, for instance, methadone clinics and other places that you would go to as a lower echelons of person, according to their ideology or their opinion. Your opinion can, I'm not saying that these people that go to these places are less than anybody else, but and we're thinking like lefties, guys. So lean into this with me. What if why would they provide such open opportunity for drug users to come to their town if they wanted to, if they obviously knew what was going to happen. This isn't like, whoops, we didn't know that was going to happen. Of course they knew that was going to happen. You're going to have a bunch of people come in. You're going to give them a whole bunch of money. They obviously don't have a job, so they got nothing but time on their hands and a drug problem. What do you think was going to happen? Well, what they'll do is they'll give these people incentives to live a cleaner lifestyle. And these incentives, imagine what kind of like indoctrination can take place at a rehab facility. Just think about that. Just think about some of the experiments that could be done at rehab facilities. Think about some of the things they could have people doing in a situation of desperity to find, that's not even a word, but I'm going to use it anyways, for housing. You can really put these people in corners. So what if you were like to say, you go to these treatment programs and you accept the treatment that's given to you, and we'll provide you with this stuff here, this, that, and the other. And by the way, not to mention that, according to these people here, drug treatment is actually going to a place and getting legal drugs pumped into you, like methadone and Suboxone and other stuff like that. So that doesn't mean that they're going to make you sober, but it just means that they can put you under your thumb. That's probably more of that would be the darker side of what they're trying to do here. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that getting people support and treatment is a good idea, but it's just weird how they rolled out a program they knew was going to fail and then bring in a program to try to fix the problem that they started. This just leads right into nothing but craziness. And speaking about craziness, dude, over here in New York, NYPD, squad car and 3 other vehicles. Okay, so 28-year-old man slammed into a police officer squad car, 3 other vehicles, before his arrest on the slew of charges Wednesday. Then he bit the police officer's sergeant's finger off while in a holding cell. Maybe he was. I've seen videos on the twatters where people want to mess with lions and tigers and stick their fingers in there. You reckon the cop was like, yoo-hoo! And then you had a group of people trying to get him off. But the suspect is an illegal immigrant and emotionally disturbed, according to law enforcement. Police said he was they leveled 10 charges against Lenny Rodriguez Cruz. Oh, Lenny, who lives in Brooklyn, New York. It does now. Look at that. I don't know. There's a piece of a finger left, but that's not good. And just before midnight Wednesday, police tried to pull over a blue 09 Nissan Altima. Nissan be catching hell. Mechanics hate Nissans, by the way. In case you don't know this, if you drive a Nissan and your mechanic doesn't mind working on it, give him a pat on the back. I don't mind working on them. I need a pat on the back. But I get a lot of people who say they take their Nissan to please people and they don't want to mess with them. But anyhow, it's another video. This thing had an expired license plate. Obviously, it was fictitious tags, probably a stolen tag, or it just wasn't reported stolen yet because the people that he stole the tag from haven't noticed their tag gone. They registered to a different vehicle. So, in other words, fictitious tags, no driver's license, obviously no insurance on the vehicle or the driver. And he had ran into all these vehicles, and then, like I say, they were trying to take him in, got him in custody, and in the middle of moving the dude around, and he bit the person's finger off. I talked about this in another video, but here's the article for it, just to kind of back up what I was saying. And by the way, it gets crazy, guys. A United States guitarist, Al Di Meola, suffers a heart attack on stage in Romania, but is now in a stable condition. There's the dude right there. He's really into his music, guys. Nope. He's currently having a massive heart attack and needs assistance immediately. And he looks like he's pretty unhealthy. He hasn't taken real good care of himself. So more than likely, it was nothing to do with any kind of mandated stuff that people have to travel and go certain places, or fear-mongered into taking because they were scared they would lose their livelihood and family. Bucharest, Romania, award-winning U.S. guitarist Al Di Meola suffered a heart attack during a performance in Romania's capital, but is currently in stable condition and receiving treatment at a hospital on Thursday. He's 69 years old, began playing a concert in a venue at Berkchest at 9 p.m. on Wednesday night. Dracos Christisiu, a photographer who attended the concert, told the Associated Press that he saw Di Meola clasp his chest during the performance, and then the guitarist struggled to walk off stage. The other two members of Di Meola's trio continued to play for several minutes until they announced the show would be cut short. Yeah. Yep. Joe Biden. Joe Biden is endorsing Ron Desantis. And by the way, watch this. Yeah, this is good. This is really good.
Pleasure to partner with you, truly. Thank you.
Can I say just one more thing? You know what's good about this?
By the way, let me set this up. Right before Biden was given this opportunity to speak, they gave him his Percocets, and they are now kicking in, and he is feeling quite euphoric. Now we'll continue.
Cooperating. We're letting the nation know we can cooperate.
Yes, sir. That's right.
And when it's really important, I was talking to Debbie about it right now. We come together. This is life and death. And so
this is life and death. Wait till he lays out the plan and what they're doing. Just watch and DeSantis has to sit there and sit next to the dude and look at him like he's your, how you look at a real feeble person. I'm not making fun of people. I'm just saying this is a bad thing because this guy is supposedly president.
I don't think. I just got back from 12 days in Europe. They wonder whether we can do this. And you're doing it. I mean, just the simple act of everybody doing whatever needs to be done.
He has no idea what needs to be done. Other than maybe wiping that butt of his. Make sure that thing stays nice and clean. Because, but look at the look on his face. He has no idea where he's at. And he's sort of lost, and it's just it's an absolute shame. The only thing these people are doing is just benefiting the fact that he has no idea what's going on because they are running policy through like a ramrod, like Jill Biden's back, like a ramrod.
And it really makes a difference.
That's quite scary. And DeSantis, of course, that's going to help him out a lot. That'll really. Between, calling all the Trump supporters and Trump people complete and total idiots and all the names he's called us and all the names he's called Trump and all the names he's called fellow Americans. Yeah, I think this is a good way to do this. If you can get in with the crew of the people who's going to stay. I can't say certain words on the YouTubes, but you know what they're going to try to do in 2020. 2, 4, 16, 2024. Imagine that. All these years. Soros's son, as new shakeup, puts $25 million philanthropy on hold. George Soros's $25 billion charity is on the cusp of a transformation. They love transformations that will reshape its operations, slash its staff, and test whether his son Alex is ready to head on the world's biggest and most influential philanthropies. I love how they use the word philanthropies as a guise for totalitarianisms and dictatorships and slavery. That's a really neat way to do that. I'm really impressed at their tactics with words. I'm almost as good as for shizzle my bizzle. Alex, who was named official successor to his billionaire father at the Open Society Foundations in June, was revealed only a few details of the overhaul, which will include a 5-month freeze on new donations starting in October, and a minimum of 40% staff cuts. And I'm going to give you okay, I've got a lot to say, and I'll try to make it as fast as possible. But the organization, this is me talking, but back to the article, the organization which has enlisted consulting from Deloitte, I don't know, to help with the redesign will emphasize urgency and outcomes, said President Mark Mallock Brown. This guy's, Mark Mallock actually plays a really weird key role in this, and we'll get into that in a second. It says, without divulging much detail on which causes will get its cash. In other words, they're going to cut spending for 5 months to certain organizations they've been funding for a long time. And I'll go a little bit more into the article, then I'll talk. The changes follow a previous attempt in restructuring the Open Society's Foundation's headcount by about half, and this happened in 2021. And they cut the Open Society Foundation in half as far as people that are working there. Had nearly 1,700 people on payroll. After the latest changes, the tally will be fewer than 500. Well, they did this in 2021. Things didn't go that well. It was a shaky maneuver, and they ended up having to do some recuperation tactics to kind of get back right. The OSF, Open Society Foundation, hands out more than $1 billion a year through its network of foundations in 5 continents. And so any hint of what Alex and what's that dude's, that Mallock Brown's name, Kevin, I think his name was. What was that name again? Mark, I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyway, sorry about that. Mark Mallock Brown will do or stop doing sends ripples around the globe for causes ranging from social justice to democracy. Given the lack of details and Alex Soros's relative inexperience, the 37-year-old scion faces some skepticism about where he's taking the sprawling enterprise that his 93-year-old father built into one of the biggest donors to promote democracy and human rights. And back in the day, according to the article, it was said that Soros, that George here wanted to, on his 80th birthday, wanted to squash the company. And I don't know what was going to happen after that. Usually they rebrand Nazism most of the time. Before it gets too well known, they fizzle out and they rebrand it. That's what they did back in the Hitler days, and they brought it all over here. We've been talking a lot about that the past couple of days, and so. Does that mean that the Open Society Foundation is losing money? Is it due to the fact that Sam Bankman-Fried from FTX has something to do with the money not coming in? Is there things happening behind the scenes by white hats who are shaking up the company, causing them to have to wonder and where they need to reallocate resources in a better direction because they can't afford to pay everybody? That could very well be the case. However, it could be the case, and it also could be the case that we know that Alex Soros was very well known. There he is right there in that picture. That's George Soros' son, openly stating that he's way more radical than his dad, and that he wants to eradicate conservative view and conservative voices exponentially compared to what his dad. His dad was trying to take things more of a longer approach. Take a little more time, a little more subtlety about it. I don't know if that's the right word, but whatever. And so he says that I'm going to do that. Now, I think that they've probably got plenty of money. That's not the problem. I think that they're going to do exactly what he's talking about. They're not donating any money right now because they don't know where they need to make the next move, because right now everything's up in the air when it comes to how conservatives are moving information. They're trying to wait out to see what happens with the information and structure of the internet. They want to see how other court cases go out amongst Donald Trump to see if there's going to be, they might have to do some paying off. There could be a financial aspect to it, but I promise you that the movement of this allocation of money doesn't mean that there's companies that the downfall is around the corner. However, on the other hand, most empires, especially when it comes to kings and queens and all this, these power structures that we read about in books and history, have held very well amongst most people because of the fact that they had their sons do like the kings would do: go through the military, go work the struggles, work do all the hard things to get to where they're at instead of handing something over. Alex Soros doesn't have. He has a little bit of that. For most of his life, he's partied and never had to really do anything. He doesn't have a lot of experience actually nose to the grindstone. In the article you'll read, if you read in the article, they'll talk about certain things that Alex was into and kind of shadowing his dad and hanging around the companies and learning the ropes. But in all actuality, there was a previous sibling, because there's 5 of these little heathens that I'll say that these little heathens that Soros had, and one of them was his older brother from a different marriage who was supposed to take the reins of this whenever George Soros turned 80 years old. The company fizzled out, be rebranded, never go away, but just kind of get out of the public's eye under a whole new guise and a whole new title. And it didn't happen. I don't know what happened with Soros. I don't know if it's because Trump won and it screwed up how everything was supposed to go. I don't know if that's the case. That would be really epic if that was. But I just know that this Open Society Foundation is hell-bent on the destruction of America and a lot of the Western civilizations, because it shows people a way of freedom, prosperity, and pride that counteracts their ability to rein in and control people. Yeah. So, that's a real thing there. I grew up in the 80s, man. I had the 80s A-Team van, Mattel, car, Matchbox car. And I watched all the A-Team movies or shows, and really am sad to see this happen right here. This is scary. And don't let me find out that BA is part of the Red Shoe Club. Does anybody know about the Red Shoe Club? But anyhow, watch this. And he talks about this. Watch.
Hey everybody, this is Mr. T. I'm about to get my COVID vaccine booster shot. I'm in my Skechers. Yes, I do everything in Skechers. Yes, I get healthy in Skechers. You heard me? Get your vaccination booster.
No. Oh no. This is not good.
I think it's 310.
All right. Now, keep an eye out to see how this goes. But we got to remember too, there are also a control group of possible saline shots, and we don't know how that. It's just we don't know what you're going to get. Now there could be something already pre-planned whenever they squirt stuff in people. But we'll just keep an eye on old BA. But I'm really hopeful that doesn't hurt him. That's all I can say. Guys, thank you so much. Lots of love. Peace out. And I will talk to you later.